What's going on, everybody? This your boy Sean, aka Puff Comics 83, and we are back. We are back. We are back, and we are ready to do America.
Yes.
And
I'm
this
the
week
quick one for you. I need TP for my bangle.
we need all the TP. So the days after the election is over. We have a new president. A lot of people aren't happy. A lot of people are happy. But it is what it is, and we have to deal with it. But we're gonna talk about the 1996 Mike Judge film Beavis and Butthead to America.
Yeah.
And the main goal for us is to score. We're gonna score.
Gonna score finally.
I'm joined by Varangian Vigilante. How are you doing, sir?
Doing well. I'm tired as fuck, but I got my tea, a lot of caffeine. Get ready, and of course, gotta talk about a movie that I have seen in cinemas when I was 13. I loved it. I thought it was the best thing ever because, growing, of course, also up on MTV, Beavis and Butthead, being a metalhead already early on as an early teen. This was the movie that I was looking forward to, like as an early teenager, and it's still amazing.
Like I said, it was like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. I was at home, I was off work, and I was going through the channels. I saw Beavis and Butthead do America. I was like, oh shit, I ain't watched that in a while. Let me pop that on. And as soon as I watched it, I was like, oh, it took me back. It took me
immediately. And the thing is, everything that was funny already when it was 13, when we were both 13, is still funny. And everything that we didn't understand when we were 13 is even funnier now.
And especially considering that we talked Idiocracy last week.
Yeah.
It's like watching this movie just adds to Idiocracy more with how we are as adults, considering the fact that Beavis and Butthead are like just two bumbling, idiotic teens, but yet the adults in the film are just as stupid.
Yeah, it's just like it's true, I was a bumbling idiot teen when I watched it back then, and I'm an idiotic adult now.
So it's funny doing Idiocracy and then this, and it's like now it takes us back to the days. But yeah, we were young, dumb, and doing stupid stuff.
And yeah, all we wanted to do is score.
We wanted to score, watch TV, have all the nachos we could have, and just enjoy life.
I also remember and Beavis and Butthead had like one of the coolest video games back in the day.
Oh man!
On a PC, and it probably won't be released today because you had like the magnifying glass and you need to burn insects. Oh boy!
And the impact that Beavis and Butthead had on America in the 90s.
Not only America,
just worldwide.
I would say the whole Western world. Like, of course, like you were like the hero in school when you had like a Beavis and Butthead T-shirt, and it was just it like I think nobody know how huge Beavis and Butthead were back then. I would even say that at that point in the 90s, like in 1996, it was more over than The Simpsons.
I can definitely agree with that because Beavis and Butthead, we would watch that, coming home from school and it's on MTV, put on TV. Of course, you had your music videos, so we always want to hear Beavis and Butthead's thoughts on these videos. That was like the joy of watching the show. Like, hey, Beavis, look at this guy.
Look at this chick.
She got big boobs. That was the joy of watching it. It's like the music videos and Beavis and Butthead reacted to them. They were reactors before reacting became a thing.
She has a boner.
So it's just such a huge part of our teenage years growing up, and man, when this movie came out, everybody was going to go see it.
Yes, and it made a shitload of money for like, of course, 90s for 90s calculations. I think like how many cost? I was under 20 million and it made around 90 million or something. And this was 90s money. This was good money. This was before inflation. In fact, this was before 2 to 3 recessions.
But
like,
yeah, they were bringing in the dough.
Yeah, there was a time when you get a fucking Big Mac for like $1. Like,
you can go to the corner store and get at least a cake, a bag of chips, and the soda, all for like $1 or 75 cents. Nowadays, just forget about it.
Yeah, it's
yeah. But that was the 90s for you, man, and that's why it was the last great decade.
I just wanted to say that again. The 90s
decade.
was the last great decade, and I think we're both so happy that we grew up in that time. We got it all, man. We got it all. Like, we lived a better life than everybody before us, and we lived a better life than everybody that follows.
But yeah, the joy of that time period was just so amazing, and Beavis and Butthead was right there in the center of it. And to think about it, think of the crass cartoons that we got in the 90s. I mean, not only Beavis and Butthead, the Simpsons was running roughshod in the 90s. Ren and fucking Stimpy. The craziness that they had. And then the MTV cartoons like Aeon Flux and all that.
And of course, the alpha male himself, Johnny Bravo.
Oh, man.
Hey, mama.
Cartoon. Bro, the 90s truly was amazing. And they really pushed the boundaries with how far they could get away with cartoons that aim for kids, but they were very crude and crass.
Well, we know what some of the creators, especially Cartoon Network, like were into, so there's some really sick individuals.
Especially in Nickelodeon with Ren and Stimpy. I'm like, damn, how many times are we gonna see shots of Ren and Stimpy's ass, man?
It's like yeah. But of course, back then we were kids and we just enjoyed the wackiness of it.
But yeah, Beavis and Butthead Do America, man. This is probably one of the most simplest plots, but it's just we're in it for Beavis and Butthead, and everything around them going through the entire country of America, is a road trip in itself. So
and
that's
of course,
the beauty of it.
The homage to and by Hayes himself.
Yes, and I love that I love that intro with
the opening is so good
with the Isaac Hayes Shaft intro.
Yeah, and the Miami Vice, all the visuals like with Beavis and Butthead.
It almost made me want to see like a whole movie based on that.
That would have been cool. It was so funny that only when I did some research yesterday that I found out that they almost wanted to do a fucking live action movie. That was like 50-50 if it's gonna be animated or a live action movie. I would have hated a live action movie back then.
It wouldn't work.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked, and Mike Judge wouldn't have worked.
The closest we got to a live action is when Method Man and Redman did their little parody of Beavis and Butthead in one of their music videos.
Yeah.
They were stoners themselves, so they could probably pull it off.
Yeah, but it's like it's so good because all we wanted is just Beavis and Butthead in a feature movie, unapologetic, over the top, and yeah, it's I think the German title don't make sense. It's like it's like a wordly translation, but because Beavis and Butthead Do America, of course, has like a double meaning. And in the German, it's just machen's in America. It's like they're doing it in America, which of course takes the innuendo out of it. But I don't think there would have been a proper German translation to get to really get the meaning of this. But nevertheless, I think I remember when I watched it that I think that the German dubbing was really good back then. Of course, watching it ever since I got it on DVD in English, of course, it tops everything. Especially since you also have like the talent of Bruce Willis and Demi Moore in there when they were still married, which actually this pretty much foreshadowed their marriage.
You got Muddy and Dallas Grimes going against each other.
And I think
go ahead.
And I think also plot-wise for a movie, I read that of course the South Park creators didn't like it so much because they felt it was just a longer TV episode. But actually, I really think this was a proper movie, and I think it's also way more coherent in storytelling, and it feels less episodic than the Simpsons movie did later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean the Simpsons movie was fun.
To be honest, I can't even remember much from the Simpsons movie compared to this.
But everything that goes, of course, past like Spider Pig. that was a huge thing. But yeah, I think this is actually a really decent, not a decent, it's an awesome movie. It's fun and like I said, back then, of course, being 13 years old, basically knowing nothing about the US except for what you get from movies, and then later watching it and seeing it also as the cultural satire that it is. And the great thing with Mike Judge is that he's like nothing is sacred. Like he makes fun of everything, and this is what I actually really love. And I think comedy is always at best when it just takes shots at everybody, because let's face it, it doesn't matter which side you're on, doesn't matter what you believe in, every side is worthy to take a shot at in terms of satire. I love to laugh about myself. I love to laugh about the things that I believe in or not believe in. And this is why I just miss the comedy of that time period, because like I said, nothing was holy, and I think it also really taught us to laugh about ourselves.
Yes. Mike Judge is a genius when it comes to doing satire and really exploiting all the things that's happening in the country, just making fun of everybody.
Yeah,
the agents, the government. I mean, the working man.
The leftist teacher.
Everybody's taking.
Of course, every authority figure, especially also, of course, laugh when Vickers, when they were in the motel and opened the wrong door, and the principal was in there getting spanked by the domino.
He turned around, he see those two, and they ruined his day.
Yeah, and the great thing about it, I think, is also that the whole premise of the movie is so fitting, and I think this was also the genius of Mike Judge in there, that he was creating a TV show, that he was creating content for TV while criticizing the quality of TV within it. And I absolutely loved it. This self-awareness, that didn't feel forced and didn't feel pretentious.
No, it didn't. It comes off natural.
Exactly.
Outside of Beavis and Butthead, who you already know as characters, when you watch the film, everything just flows perfectly. There's not something that's just forced in there for just being forced in. It's like the whole sequence with the nuns. When they get on the bus with the nuns, and the way they act around them, and then the way the nuns abandon him. The nuns count, when they went to the church and they went into the thing, and the guy's Father, I have sinned and stuff like that. Oh, you need to hit yourself 1,000 times. He takes shots at everything.
Exactly. And what I also really love about this movie, which I really dislike with a lot of movie adaptations of cartoon characters in the 90s. You know, there are like few examples that are really perfect. For example, also Transformers is a perfect movie. But what I really liked here is when you watch a TV series, the characters in the movie like were the same. It didn't worse like it's like, hey, this feels different than the TV series, which was the case with a lot of movie adaptations of TV cartoons, because of course then they got like another director and they tried to put like his voice in. And here's really good thing that Mike Judge like had control over his characters. Of course, like the only thing is like they wanted a PG-13 rating. I actually think for what is his rated? He is actually the equivalent of rated R for the US for 16. Which doesn't matter in Austria because we don't in Germany 16 in Austria we don't have film laws, so of course I was able to watch it at 13 years old.
But even watching it as a teenager, like 13, it's still pretty tame. You know, outside of certain crass words, there's nothing in there that really warrants like, yeah, you shouldn't show this to no 13-year-old.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure like he is like 16 more like because of the showing of guns, etc. So it's like less the wording.
The second movie they went above and showed some people getting shot and blood and all that.
Damn.
But yeah, this movie is just amazing, and just you're just watching Beavis and Butthead stumble onto certain things. Because what started it all? Of course, that opening part where they're giant Godzilla Beavis and Butthead,
the tree
and stuff, and then Beavis wakes Butthead up and like, our TV's gone. And then they're trying to deduce what happened. The window's been broken open, the TV's gone, the door's wide open, footprints on the floor. And like, this sucks. No TV.
And I love the flashback of the happy memories with the TV.
It's like they live and die with the TV. Because without the TV, they can't do their shows no more, watching music videos.
Yeah.
So they need the TV. They go to the school to take the school TV.
And then of course we see the first time like the hippie teachers from prison.
The hippie teacher and the principal. They wrecked that TV, dropping it down the stairs, and they're like, it's a lost cause. Let's go to get another TV.
Yeah.
And then that's when they stumble upon Muddy Grimes,
Bruce Willis.
played by Bruce Willis. And he already like thinking that, two guys are gonna come in there, and the two guys that actually came up to be the hitmen were the guys that stole their TV.
The TV, yeah. And this is because they're late, and and Muddy wants them to do his wife, and this is where the misunderstanding begins, because
Beavis and Butthead, when they heard that, you want us to do your wife?
They're 10 grand for doing his wife.
She has big boobs. Just the delivery of it.
Yeah.
Then they get the picture like, oh. It's insane.
Oh, I love this.
That these two characters can get that job, and Muddy just brushed it off like, yeah, just do the job.
Oh, I just absolutely love
it shows you just how stupid the adults are, because Muddy is so drunk out of his mind that he's not even realizing that these guys are incompetent.
Yes, and I also love like the story that the picture of his wife, of course, has within this movie. Later when like I love when Beavis, says before Anderson tree looks at the picture, looks at the trailer, looks at the picture, looks at the tree. He gets in and waking it up. This never stops like not being fun. It is funny. Like it doesn't matter how old you are. I'm sorry if you can't laugh about this. You're taking life way too serious. And you killed your inner teenager.
You can't do nothing but laugh at it. You know, there's certain times when we go into adulthood, you think you're serious and stuff.
Yeah.
And that this is no longer as funny and stuff, but when you watch it, it's like,
yeah,
this
it's
is childhood. It's still relevant to this day, considering the fact that you got adults in the movie portrayed as idiots, and then you look at the people you deal with in real life. Some of them are smart. There's some great people in the world, but then there's others that are just idiots, and they will fall for the same old tricks.
Yeah. And if you were born in the 80s and grew up as a kid in the 90s, and you can't laugh about this, you lost it, man. You lost it.
Yeah.
Like, you lost it, and go out there and find it again. Find the joy, the spark of comedy, of humor, of life.
They must have got, if they can't laugh at that, they must got the personality of Lance Storm. If I could be serious for a minute.
It's like basically you can go into a room and be there with Lance Storm and Dean Malenko.
I was gonna bring up the Iceman. The man
Which actually was a huge Malenko fan.
Oh yeah, he was awesome. The Storm was awesome in the ring. But yeah, they do the job for Muddy. He takes him to the airport, and this is where my favorite quote that I use: "We're getting paid to score." And just think about it. You tell a teenager, to go and do your wife, and I'll pay you money to do it.
Damn, yeah.
A horny teenager at that, they're gonna do
it. Yeah, for sure.
So they go all the way to Vegas.
And I also love, of course, like the granny that we.
Oh yes, the granny on the plane.
Yeah. And she like it is, of course, like that. She's caught a lot, like listen, she's caught a lot.
And then like she says she's going to Vegas so she can hit the slots. And like, I'm gonna get some slots. And that's the thing with Beavis and Butthead. You tell them certain things, they only pick one particular word out of it, and it relates to sex or their sexual organ. You know, wood,
anus.
You know, he said ass. Hard.
Yeah.
They are so dim with it that they only focus on the words that relates to the sex and organs and all that stuff. So it's like you can't say nothing around them without them thinking of something else.
Yeah. And I also love the, of course, like also there's so many great running gags, especially with the female FBI agent.
Oh no, the cavity search.
Did I just score?
Nah, you got cavity search. Agent Fleming was ruthless with the cavity search. Like, get this person in cavity search.
Everybody. Even like the witness.
he made sure that whoever ran the foul or whoever was associated got
everybody gets
cavity search. And the lady just put the gloves on like, oh, she couldn't wait to hear those words.
Which is so funny because it's still like a pre-9/11 movie.
Yeah.
And it's already like all about cavity searches.
They did so many of them. It's like everybody was violated by that lady, man.
Yeah.
No matter what, if he said everybody gets a cavity search, she gonna have a long day.
Yeah. It's so funny. Nobody's in the chat. People are either crying or celebrating.
I ain't worried about it, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie, the way they go from their place to the Vegas, and then they meet Dallas.
Yeah, it is such a smooth transition, the whole road trip part, and of course, like meeting her and
then
she's actually the only smart one in the movie.
Yeah.
Like she immediately figures out like what is here happening. This is the meaning, like doing like that.
And she easily manipulates them.
She also manipulates money as easy like that.
Pretty much. And so she's like, I'll double the amount of money. And all they could think about is, you gonna score?
Yeah, but they have to get to Washington, D.C.
But there's a lot of detours in that.
lot of wonderful detours, lot of wonderful coincidences. Like I just remembered when I was in the cinema and like this joke that I have is like what it killed me so much when I was 13. The master station, it was like reading it, because it's good because in German it's the same in word. In German it's Masturbation, so it's like this. It's like the same joke, and so it was like it killed me as a 13-year-old. Like masturbation.
That's all he can configure is masturbation.
Yeah, the illiterate teenagers. Like,
I love how they made fun in the second film. I like I said, I gotta send you the video.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second movie yet.
I love how they make fun when they get zipped to the future and stuff. They go to their house and it's for sale and all that stuff. But they sit down in the chair and there's no TV. It's books. And they like, books? The fuck is this? Books? They ain't say it like that. But...
Also, 90s economy, 2 teenagers can live in a house.
They mention the parents, but you know,
Yeah,
parents.
I know there's like that.
They know what to be found, but we do see the actual fathers.
The actual, and actually, it's it's like that. When it's 2 sluts at the Mötley Crüe concert, and they're still there. The sluts. It's like mom.
They still riding on the bikes, drifting out of nowhere. Dead ringers for their sons. But yeah, it just shows you that they had no family in their life and no education, so they just rotting themselves on the couch watching TV. So everybody could take advantage of them, but yet at the same time, they find a way to get away with shit.
Of course, except for in the shop, like, and of course the movie does mention in the shop at the burger, where they where they serve the most wonderful burgers.
Man,
with the red.
they get on the bus with all the senior citizens.
And then the granny comes, of course, again and tells them that she her adventures with the sluts.
Yes, her adventures and stuff, and you know, Beavis is wanting to score, so he's like,
never score.
He started ranting, and the bus driver's like, "Man, shut up, man, we gotta go." And he's like, "No, you shut up. We gotta score. We came out this way, and we ain't scored. When we gonna score?" It's like at that point you feel Beavis's pain because they was led along to believe that they was gonna get some, but the whole damn trip they ain't getting none, and he's fed up. How much longer is it gonna take for us to score?
Will we ever score?
That's the whole goal across both movies is trying to score.
I'm just happy that I scored in between those movies came out.
We scored.
Yeah, we scored.
But at the same time, Beavis and Butthead, they can't get no victory their way.
Nah.
And they go across causing mayhem in America, having people in the church beat themselves up and telling them all the bad advices,
from the Hoover Dam, which hasn't seen so much chaos as when I attacked it with the Legion in Fallout New Vegas.
Wow. Damn, that was a good ass mission though.
Oh yeah, and,
that was a good ass mission.
True to Kaiser.
And they go to the Hoover Dam. They cause a massive pileup on the highway, jumping out of the back of a vehicle.
And then, of course, Fleming is like, if you hunted across me, what would you do? Of course, cut the electricity with the two evil masterminds. I also laughed, and of course when they just claim what they're carrying, the unit with the virus, and it has one weakness, like the case. And then the next scene, like Bartet kicking Beavis with the unit in his, like that was sewn into his pants.
It's ridiculous how much Beavis and Butthead just want to do damage to each other. And when Dallas like slid the virus in his pants.
I mean, I absolutely also laughed at Beavis immediately when he saw Dallas, like he was pulling off his pants.
But when she put that shit in his pants, and then, like you said, a couple scenes later when they talking about that virus and how deadly it is, and then you see Butthead kicking Beavis in the ass where the fucking virus is located.
With the unit. The unit.
Like, come on, man. It's stupidity like that you just can't help but laugh, because it's like these boys just don't know what they're carrying around, and they're so slow-minded that they're not catching on to things, because again, they're thinking with their other head. That's all they're thinking with. But that's where the movie has its charm. It's like these two heads only think of one thing, but you want them to achieve it, because it's like.
Yeah, because deep down you're rooting for them, because it's not like, of course they're like, they're just, but they're not evil people.
It's just teenagers that wants to score.
Exactly.
And they were led to believe that they was going to score. Again, Worden. They used Worden, and they took it in a whole different direction. So, Muddy was mad that when the regular hitman showed up, he's like, "What? You're not the guys that I sent?" So now he's got to go and find them, and all the records they left behind, and the whole scene in the desert after they ran into their fathers, and that sequence, with the fathers, it's like splitting the image of their kids, and you get a whole music video in it. It's a banger.
It's a banger, and of course the animation, fantastic.
I love how the animation vibes with the hallucinations of the desert.
Yeah.
Wasn't it made by Rob?
Yeah, wasn't it made either by Rob Zombie or inspired by Rob Zombie?
It could have been.
Yeah, which Rob Zombie does better music videos than he does movies. But
I know I heard Red Hot Chili Peppers is on the soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack, of course, is what you would expect. Maybe a little bit more metal I would have expected back then. But a little bit more Megadeth and stuff. But hey, it's still like, it still rocks everything. And it was pleasing to the 13-year-old me.
And plus, it takes you back to that time period where, like, you watch movies, and regardless of whether you like the genre or not, the music just hits.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack really, like, connects with this movie to the point. This was an MTV movie, and you got to have a banging soundtrack to go with it.
It just takes you right back in the 90s. What you want to have, like, Watch Beavis and Butthead and later some ECW.
Like I said, that time period, it was like a revolutionary time period. ECW, the Raven gimmick with the grunge.
Yeah, this played like right into the zeitgeist. Sometimes it would be really cool to go back, like, as an adult, like, into the 90s and enjoy it with adult money.
That's a dream that everybody has.
Yeah.
It's a dream that everybody has.
Especially with today's money, and back then, not inflation.
I mean, it'd be like in Doc Brown and Back to the Future 2 when they went back to the 50s. He pulled out the suitcase of all different eras of money.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need that suitcase, Doc. Can you imagine the corruption if you had a time machine with all the money from each era?
Oh boy, it's always easy to say that, it's always easy to say that one thinks, I'm a responsible human being. I would totally not fuck up the time stream. 20 minutes later, I fucked up the time stream.
I already know that time travel is the most dangerous thing ever. Because if I go back in time, I am going to fuck up the time stream.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, oh fuck, I got laid with Cleopatra.
It's gonna get fucked up because trust me, man. If I go back there with 90s money, I'm gonna do some damage.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do some damage. I wouldn't even want to interact with myself.
Yeah, no. Like I think you make like if 13-year-old me would be the last person on Earth that I want to have interaction with.
But what I would do is go back to the time when this movie got released and see it in theaters the opening weekend, just to get the vibe of that era. But yeah, so the whole thing, they find their way into Washington after Muddy finds them, and again he throws them in the trunk of his vehicle, and then they just open up the trunk, and you got traffic on the highway. And he butthead saying, "Beavis, why don't you jump and just run when you land?"
You just run fast.
This man calls a whole 400 car pileup, and then walk away from it.
Yeah, and of course, like the agent then later sees the footage and everything. Is like, they planned this. It's just like I love the coincidences and.
He's always coming to conclusions and shit. Like,
yeah.
Planning this. Look, they must be on some top secret mission and stuff. I'm like, bro, just find the people, man.
And I think that's also the magic about the humor, because you have really dumb humor in there that works, but you also have really humor that is based on setting things up later with a very well built up. You have some, of course, running gags in there. It's it never gets. Funny, it never gets not funny. Never end a sentence with a preposition. You're an agent.
He's whacking off in his RVs.
It's whom he back.
when somebody hit you with that don't end a sentence with a preposition, now you start thinking, I'm gonna end this stuff. So the way Bork was trying to fix his sentence, had me laughing, because they're like, when you're trying to figure out a way of how to do it the right way, then you might as well just say, "Man, fuck it."
I would just take my right. I would just take my right to remain silent.
Yeah, so just don't say nothing.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like this. It's and it's always funny, whacking off in somebody's tool shed. never is not funny.
But you got to be low down to be whacking off in somebody's tool shed, man. That'd be, come on.
When you're a teenager, it's like,
no.
Did you never play like these games like who's waking up faster?
No.
What is just a thing here?
There's no such thing as me wanting to go to somebody's tool shed and whack off. Like that, I always thought the thought of that was absurd.
I just remember, when we were like in school and we had like a school trip to Vienna, and in the hotel, basically everybody got locked in the room. They was only allowed to come outside once you finished.
Hey, I'll say this: us kids growing up in the black neighborhoods, we was like, this really how white kids were acting.
I mean, once you have probably watched German porn, you know how we tick. Like, we're all sick in our mind.
It's a sick world out there. But but yeah, the one I felt bad for was those time minutes.
Yeah, poor Anderson, poor
proto
version of Hank Hill.
He was trying he was just trying to live his life with his wife. You know,
Yeah.
he's a veteran. He's taking this road trip, get to explore the country.
Decent human being, family
Decent
man.
human being. Yet he got this numbskull whacking off in his tool set. And then he can't even get away from these guys. Like, hey, these the boys, that's my next door neighbor whacking off in my RV.
And then he gets arrested.
Like everywhere they go, whether it's Vegas, the Hoover Dam, the highway, or Washington, these boys are with. Well, I'll be like, man, let's go home. Let's go home. Because these boys are following me.
Yeah.
And the ending was just like, come on. Again, wrongfully convicted. The most accurate thing in the movie. Wrongfully convicted.
Exactly. As we've seen people in there that did really bad things.
And yet you got this knucklehead Beavis in his cornholio phase. I am cornholio.
Yeah.
I need TP for my bunghole.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, of course we also see some, but in there that really scored in the Oval Office, Mr. Clinton.
You got these idiots here. The cops are holding their guns towards him, and he ain't even getting shot. But you know, poor Tom, man. He comes out with his underwear, like, get your underwear out of my damn RV.
And the unit are like slow motion.
And Beavis stands there, bounces off his head, falls on his head, like, here you go. And then they
celebrated as heroes.
They celebrated that they get the become ATF agents for tobacco, beer, and
firearms.
Firearms. Like, really? It's even worse when you see the second movie.
I have to see it. It's like you know, when it came out, it was only in the US and Peacock didn't have an international service, and I was looking that no streaming service here had it, and it was also not available to purchase. Like I always say, you know, with some studios, why are you making it so hard to watch your content? And this, I'm happy that the whole streaming wars are fizzling out, and they finally realize that actually the whole holding your own content hostage actually works against the content. Because why was Beavis and Butthead a whole thing? It's because you were able to watch it in the whole Western world on MTV. And MTV had like a station they had a station in German, they had a station, of course, with the US, they had a station like different languages. And this is how you start a cultural phenomenon. Now, when you have it only on Peacock, which is probably one of the most...
He said cock. That's the juvenile humor of Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. When you only have it on the NPC streaming service. That outside of the US nobody can subscribe to, and in the US only WWE fans and 20 people that want to watch 30 Rock. 30 Rock, one of the best TV series ever, by the way. But it's like an insignificant streaming service. It's like you can't create a cultural phenomenon limiting your content only to a small audience. And this is why Sony was so smart in the streaming service, because they just pimped out the content to everybody.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
Everybody gets a piece of the pie.
And this was when Netflix was so successful in the beginning, because it was like one place where you can watch everything.
And that's where everybody got jealous, because Netflix was making all the money. They like, well, you know, they're streaming stuff. We need to get all our content on one streaming platform and put it there. And then you got all these fucking services. But when you combine the damn fees to them, it's like it adds up to a cable bill.
Exactly. Like, let's make streaming cable. Let's make
it's no different.
thing that didn't function back then, and we already but
And you still gonna have people pirating and say,
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
paying. I'm not paying for this service to watch it behind the paywall.
Exactly, and this is why it's today so hard to get something to be such a cultural phenomenon like things were back in the days, because we all watched the same things.
Yeah, man. So it sucks that you didn't get the second film, because
Yeah.
like I said, both films are funny as hell, and the second one really takes what's been happening the last couple of years and just amplify it with the white privilege thing and all that.
I am very much looking forward to the new King of the Hill, where because they really aged the people in the series.
Yeah, they did. That was the one thing I liked about King of the Hill, that they aged as the series went on.
Yeah, and of course it's like said with, of course, like that Dale's voice actor passed away.
Yeah, that they were talking about, who plays that.
But yeah, it's back in the day, when my judge did something, it immediately had a cultural relevance that went even out of America. Like also Daria was a
yes.
She also has like a small cameo, of course, like in here.
Yes. I always, when I watch the film, there's Daria.
Yeah.
And Mike Judge was huge in that stuff with his animations and his films. Like, I think California Blended did a video just recently talking Office Space, and I love Office Space for what it is, because it really highlights the dysfunction of the office.
Yes, and everybody.
And Mike Judge does this so well.
Yeah, and I've worked in an office, and I have to say it's very spot on.
Yeah, so like when you're interacting with people, Mike Judge knows the feeling of interacting with assholes, dumbasses, and all that stuff, because it's around us every day.
Exactly, and like we said before, and for Judge, nothing is sacred. It's like everybody has the right to be offended, and this is something that we should get back again. Like not only in the US, but I think at least in the whole like Western world and Western culture, that we, it's not a dick. We don't have to get everything so hard. We don't have to take everything so hard.
He said dick. Like I said, Beavis and Butthead, you got to watch what you say, because they'll just zone in on one word.
And this is the good thing, Like I say, like there's so many different kinds of humor, and I just think that such a simple, crude, like an unapologetic form of humor is actually what really can brings us together.
Or in the case of the second film, once you get a hand on an iPhone that has a female voice talking to you, you be like Beavis, you start to fall in love with it.
Which is actually isn't that actually the plot of the Blade Runner sequel? But yeah, back in the days when a Karen was offended, we laughed at her. We didn't take her serious. Nobody cared what one woman in Chicago was worried about. Married with Children reference.
Oh my God! No, hey.
Bring back Psycho Dad.
Psycho Dad and No Man.
Psycho Dad.
We need groups like No Man.
He's quick with the gun, but he loves his son. Killed his wife because she weighed a ton. Psycho Dad.
I'm due for a marathon of Married with Children. I'm due for a marathon with that.
Yeah. I just recently rewatched I'm gonna since it's soon the Christmas time, I'm gonna rewatch all the Christmas episodes.
Nice. But this movie, it just has a special place. You know, like
It does.
when you watch it when you're younger, and it's like, man, this movie's so stupid, but I can't stop watching it. And it's always the thing. It's like, and I say this with like certain movies like Pootie Tang and stuff. I'm watching it like, man, this fucking movie is stupid as hell. But then you see it on again, and you're watching it. And you see it on again, and you watch it.
Because also when something is stupid, and because there's a difference in deliberately make something stupid, or being stupid. There's a difference.
Big difference. Because when a movie is serious, but the storyline is nonsensical and dumb, but yet it's trying to be serious, then I'm like, yeah, it's a dumb ass movie. But when the movie knows that it's nonsensical and dumb, and it plays to its strengths, they're like, yeah, this movie is stupid, but I enjoy it. And that's what Beavis and Butthead Do America is. It's a great, stupid movie. And that's why it has a long-lasting effect. It's perfect satire. It has great comedy. It makes you laugh. And again, it's like the movie was so great that we get a sequel years later in 2022.
Yeah, they still have
and the sequel is just as good.
Oh yeah, I have to really watch. You have to show me the way.
I will show you the way. I will send you the video, and you will watch it, and you will let me know.
Because as you can see, I really love to purchase my movies, but you have to give me a chance to purchase them.
But after you watch the second film, you're gonna hit me up and say, I finally achieved white privilege to the fullest degree.
which of course, in terms of time travel, gives me like a broader range of where I can travel to in the past.
Now we know Al is a big fan of Mike Judge, especially King of the Hill.
Yeah.
You know, we were just talking about some Hank Hill, and one thing about King of the Hill is propane and propane accessories, top notch. You know, so I love that show, and I have it all downloaded. I have all
and the sad thing about King of the Hill is that Dale knew things, and they came to be true. They called him a crazy conspiracy theorist. However, he was proven wrong.
And it's funny how, people talk about it, whether King of the Hill or The Simpsons, and how the references they made back then start to come to fruition. So
which I just always assume with humanity is, we have like in German is like this term of the dümmste anzunehmende Nutzer, which is like basically if you're just assuming the most stupid watcher or listener or user, and then probably like you can resume with that, because when you just assume how far human error can go, then you can also predict the future, because it will go that way. King of the Hill is. I still think that King of the Hill, in terms by being compared, with Simpsons, Futurama, like another TV series, South Park, I still think that King of the Hill is so underrated, and should be at least on par and on top of some, because I just think with King of the Hill is that a lot of the humor is maybe like a slow burner, but in a good way, and it's way more subtler than in other projects. Especially,
I just find it weird that it got 13 seasons, but yet Simpsons is still going. And I got burnt out with Simpsons by like the late 90s, early 2000s.
The last season of The Simpsons that I watched was the season after the movie came out. And I was so disappointed by I mean, of course, like the characters changed over the time, and I know there's a lot of people that say that The Simpsons stopped being funny once they did like the switcheroo with Skinner, like the whole thing. But I still was enjoying Simpsons, but the season after the movie, it was just the humor was. I would, they tried to, I think, be a little bit too edgy in terms of the vocabulary they used, and was just not fitting for The Simpsons.
Yeah, I can't remember when I stopped watching it, whether it was before or after the movie. I know I didn't enjoy the movie as much as I thought I was going to enjoy it. But I just remember by the late 90s, I started slowly phasing out with The Simpsons.
Hey, Big Remo!
What up, Remo?
We're all doing well. But most importantly is that Al is doing well.
Yes, and by the way, the link to Al's GoFundMe is in the description of this video. So if you're watching this on the rewind, his link and Jennifer's link is in the description. To help them out, with their battle with cancer.
Exactly. Like, just go once a month, not to the nudie bar, and put the money to the GoFundMe.
Yeah. And Al, let me ask: is there going to be a show this week? Comic Con Crew episode. I don't know whether I'll join, but just want to get it from you since you're in the chat. And I know we're off next week, right?
Yes, next week I'm in Prague. If you want any past episode to re-upload, just tell me which one. Glad to hear that, Al.
Not this week. However, it was with the however with the dots. But yeah, like I said, I enjoyed this film. I still enjoy it, and like I said, when you see part 2, you're gonna enjoy that one too. Especially with how they got into the space program and go out of space. It's absurd, and it reinforces just how stupid adults are.
Yeah, Beavis and Butthead will never be not funny. It's
okay, cool.
Nice.
Good. I'll definitely be on for that because Rico will drop some knowledge. But yeah.
So next week then, I'm in Prague, and we're gonna re-upload an older episode, and after that, because I think before we're having like the winter break for December.
Yep.
We still have at least 2 shows. Yeah, 2 shows, because on the weekend after, I'm gonna be like in Salzburg for the Perchtenlauf, in the first December week.
Because I know we'll be having Thanksgiving at the end of the month, so it'll be a Black Friday. So we gotta pick a shopping related movie.
Did
we did Chopping Mall?
We already did Chopping Mall.
Yeah, we did Chopping Mall.
We already did Zombie. We already did Zombie 2, Zombie 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead we already did. But what else is there shopping mall related?
We also did Invasion of USA with they attacked the shopping mall. But we'll come up with something, man. We'll come
up with something, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. So the following week we'll be back. I'll see if I let Blur Library know. But yeah, like I said, great discussion. Like I said, I will, when I get in the other room, I will send you the link.
Yeah, first comes first, we can even talk about the history of Survivor Series.
Matter of fact, I've been wanting to ask you about that Razor Ramon episode we did when he passed away.
Oh, yeah.
Because I saw the video on Razor Ramon, and I was like, man, we did a special on him, you know?
Yeah, we did, of course. Caught all, like, very dear to our hearts.
Yeah, man. So maybe that'll be one of the videos I'll ask. You know, I'll think about it, you know, because there was a couple of videos I thought about, you know, asking to re-upload. But like I said, we'll be off next week, and we'll come back the following week with a movie that will.
The Varangians.
Yeah, we'll decide on what we come back with the following week. But for now, enjoy the conversation we had with Beavis and Butthead Do America. I hope we all have a great weekend, and
I hope
need to just stop fucking posting all the stuff. Politics is over now. Right?
You know what you should think about? Scoring this weekend. You know, before you just think about anything that is not within your sphere of influence, try to get laid.
And just try and enjoy life.
Exactly. And if you can't get laid, just go in some tool shed and masturbate.
We'll end it right there. Have a great weekend, y'all. We'll see y'all on the rebound. Later.